This video will contain spoilers.
How long I've been waiting for this. Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
I have a problem with Deadpool and Wolverine. It's probably not what you're thinking. Do I hate the cameos? They're not really cameos since they're an active part of the story and have their mini character arc. And even then, no, I don't mind it at all. I never saw Loki, so I didn't know about the Void. A place outside of the universe that is a kind of multiversal jail is actually really interesting. It's a cool location to have these sorts of appearances. From older films, films that were not well received, and films that never happened. And they work it into the narrative. I liked Multiverse of Madness, but this movie handled the multiverse concept way better than the Illuminati scene, which was cool at first until it's used for cheap heat to show Wanda being crazy powerful and then she never does shit like that ever again. She never turns Strange into string cheese or Captain Carter or anyone else. Kinda dumb. But the appearances in Deadpool and Wolverine actually make some sense and serve a purpose. It's weird that Cassandra has an army of Deadpools and doesn't see our Deadpool and go, oh, great, another one or anything. But that's a small nitpick, I admit. Plus, Gambit was amazing. I'm now annoyed he didn't get his own movie. So what then? Is it how the film handles Logan? Well, not in the way you might think. I found the opening of Deadpool desecrating Logan's grave to be actually kind of funny. Bye 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 went on for like 8 years, but it was still cute. I found Paradox reciting the emotionally moving final lines of Logan to be a bit more like they were making fun of it. It felt like, and this is a deep pull, when BBC Sherlock ended its second season with Sherlock dying, but actually living, and then fans spent the middle 2 years hypothesizing how he survived, only for the show to make fun of fans for caring about solving a mystery in their show all about solving mysteries. Anyway, it just felt like a mockery, but again, a small nitpick. So what the hell is my problem? Well, the answer?
Time. The answer is time.
Actually, it wasn't that hard.
Logan, directed by James Mangold, came out in 2017 and features a far future story of a broken down, old Logan on the run with a senile Charles Xavier and Caliban from that one scene in Apocalypse. It's set in 2029 and is an absolutely fantastic end for Logan and Charles. The Fox X-Men movies have a really messed up timeline, and this is before we started doing the multiversal shenanigans. Originally, we all believed these films to be in the same universe, just split timelines. X-Men through Origins Wolverine with its own timeline with First Class happening, then the Wolverine, but then we get Days of Future Past. We see that in 2023, the Sentinels have killed most mutants, and now the mutants need to do time nonsense to stop this from happening. They alter the past events here, so when Logan wakes up in 2023, everything is perfectly fine. Jean is alive, Scott didn't die after touching a woman, and everything is good. This is why we can have the events of Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix the way we do, because shit is different this time. So then, how does Logan the movie happen in only 6 years? Is no one concerned that we have a mutant children of men in our hands and that a mutant hasn't been born in 25 years? Why are there kids in Days of Future Past? Well, it honestly doesn't make sense to have Logan in the same universe or timeline. I used to always view it as its own distant thing that happens to a Logan, but that never sat right with me, especially when you have this series of films that are all supposed to connect. Again, this is before we multiversed. And I feel like everyone was okay with that. Logan is far and above the best X-Men movie and outclasses pretty much every Marvel movie and DC film. Everything was okay. Until the Deadpool. So Deadpool makes a joke about this in his first movie.
McAvoy or Stewart? These timelines are so confusing.
It's a funny joke, and it's a solid question, too. One that isn't going to get an answer. In Days of Future Past, there is a clear branching off point where the two timelines split. Theoretically, everything that happens prior should be the same because, we change things after First Class, and it should be, that's the split, right? Well, X-Men Origins Wolverine takes place in 1979, in which we see Wade Wilson. In Deadpool, which theoretically takes place in 2016, we see Wade Wilson. There's already a bit of an issue here, so we have two options. Option A, Deadpool's in his own universe. This is a big gimme and makes the movies make more sense. Option B, Deadpool is set in and around an alternative 1980s or 90s, and the tech is better for allowing Negasonic to text. This is supported by McAvoy, Xavier, and the team from Dark Phoenix showing up in X Manor. This fixes our "when was Wade born" problem. But honestly, option A is cleaner because Deadpool and Wolverine destroyed option B by clearly saying that Deadpool 2 happens in 2018. And also, it's hard to trust the character of Deadpool. It's never clear if a joke is happening in-universe or just for our benefit. McAvoy showed up because they were filming around the same time. Also, Moira McTaggart is young in X3 and just as young in First Class, so these never made sense. These are always weird. Deadpool then goes to the past, where he kills an adult version of himself in 1979, 3 years before actor Ryan Reynolds was even born. And then Deadpool kills Ryan Reynolds before he can agree to do the Green Lantern movie. Which, brief aside, I know the suit sucked, but the movie is honestly fine. It's kind of a hot take, but if you want, we can discuss it like adults, or we can 1v1 pistols only on Hang 'em High with 2 controllers only, your choice. Not to mention, Yukio is completely different in Deadpool 2. I mean, look at her in the Wolverine, then look at her in Deadpool 2.
This sword is hundreds of years old. It was named Danzan by the first samurai who used it. Danzan means separator.
Bye, wait. Bye, wait. Bye, wait. Bye, wait. Bye, wait. Bye, wait.
Like so.
Who is she? I mean, I love both of these characters for different reasons, but there are so many errors and problems that putting Deadpool in his own little safety bubble universe is just better for everyone's sanity and safety. Until Deadpool and Wolverine. The movie states in 2018 that Deadpool used Cable's device to travel through time and timelines? Sure, whatever. I guess that tracks somehow. He bombs his job interview for the Avengers and then goes home. 6 years pass. The year is now 2024, and okay, fine. Wade and Vanessa have broken up. Sure, but the TVA comes knocking at his door. Not to arrest him for his timeline shenanigans, but because Paradox wants him. Because his higher-ups claim that Deadpool is destined for something great. So why pluck him out of his universe now? Is it his time to shine? No! You see... you see, there's something called an anchor being. Okay, get this. This is a being so important that if the being dies, the universe starts to die. Not soon, but like in a couple thousand years. There are some problems with this, and no, this is not my main complaint, but it definitely ranks up there. It's pretty bad. So the first problem is that it's fucking stupid. So the universe was able to survive all this time without an anchor being, and then in the backwoods of 1800s Canada, a feral little boy was born who became the anchor being for reasons. They just say he's a hero, but never say what he did. Maybe it was sacrificing himself at the end of Logan, but then he dies, and he's the anchor being for like 10 minutes in the backwoods of 2029 North Dakota, and now that he's dead, the universe will slowly die off after a couple thousand years? Even though, in this very movie, and I'm sorry to get ahead of myself, Deadpool becomes the anchor being of this universe. So you can just become one, and then the universe is stabilized. So why did Paradox want to prune the universe if it's possible for another anchor being to happen? When it's possible that in the thousands of years of freefall decay, someone can show up and be like, I did a cool thing. I am now the anchor being. This is all very weird, especially given my main complaint. All right, so I think I've edged you long enough. So here we go. We're going to get into the meat potatoes of this. So Deadpool arrives at the TVA. Paradox explains the whole anchor being thing and says that Wade has a higher purpose. No one else in his universe does. Just him. Wade believes he's the anchor being, but it's Logan. We watch the final moments of a far better movie, and then Deadpool gets his idea. He's gonna get himself a Logan so that this universe has its anchor being and his friends don't have to die. Even though it's odd that Paradox doesn't just let Wade grab his 9 buddies, since he's already letting Wade out of the universe he's decided to kill. What's another 9 people? It's not like Paradox is like following any rules here. He's already off the grid, off the chain, doing his own thing. If it keeps this dude in line, let him bring his buddies. Like, why do you care? Anyway, yeah, so Deadpool goes on an epic, variant-filled quest to find himself a Logan. He tries to find the Logan who died and was the anchor being, and despite being told he's dead, digs up his corpse and just finds a skeleton. Well, darn, too late, buddy. So we get a bunch of cool variants. Henry Cavill is here saving up money for his Warhammer show and addiction, and eventually we find a Logan. Cool. Did you notice the problem? Did you spot the wolf in this picture? Maybe not. One of you must have. Brittany from Ohio. Good job! But let's recap one more time for everyone else. But let's use some different vocabulary. In 2024, Deadpool is celebrating his birthday. When the TVA show up, they tell him that his universe's anchor being is dead, so the universe will die. But he's cool and can live. I mean, he's gotta get into Thor's arms somehow. So who's the anchor being? Well, it's Logan. So Deadpool decides to show how not dead Logan is, and he travels to North Dakota to dig up Logan. And he finds his corpse. How? The year is 2024. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Are you smelling my pie on the windowsill? Logan doesn't die for another 5 fucking years. If we are to believe that this is the same universe as the movie Logan, then he is still an active X-Men. He would still be alive. He doesn't die for another 5 fucking years. So why doesn't Deadpool just go get the very alive Logan? Is he stupid? Why does he travel 5 years into the future? Potentially? I mean, he's pretty skeletoned actually. So it's gotta be more than 5. It can't just be 5 years. So why does he try to get him after he's been skewered by a tree? Deadpool clearly knows what happens to Logan, as his death scene seems like an oh yeah, that happened sort of deal when he looks at the footage. So go find him when he's still alive and tell him that Charles will have an episode in 2028 and kill a lot of mutants. Also, the adamantium inside of him is poisoning him, and maybe before the world goes to shit, he has a mutant doctor appointment with Beast or something, and get that sorted out before it's too late. And also let him know that Darwin Mayflower has rebooted the alkali shit and is responsible for Children of Mutants happening, and he has a daughter who will be about 8 years old in 2024, which compounds another problem. Why is Laura like 20 years old in this movie? It's the same Laura from Logan. The actress confirmed it, but we can't take her word for it because she's just an actor and this information's not technically in the movie. So death of the author. Okay, but she has the same fucking glasses from Logan. Sorry. The point is that the movie is just a silly buddy comedy with Ryan Reynolds and huge jacked man. Why didn't Deadpool just go tell Logan all that? Because A, they didn't want to undo the movie Logan, and B, they probably just didn't think of it. 5 writers in this movie and no one thought of it. I mean, they didn't need to invoke the movie Logan, but they kinda did. Because remember, Barry, see footage and callbacks to much better movies like Logan, Blade, Elektra, X2, X1, 21 Jump Street,
My name is Jeff.
Fantastic Four, and you're meant to associate those actually good movies with this 2-hour-long SNL skit of keys jangling. They could easily have just made a joke that the movie Logan doesn't happen for another 5 years and just had a different Wolverine in the movie. You could have put Deadpool in any universe or have him travel to any universe. Maybe Paradox or Owen Wilson could see Deadpool meet Logan and tell him that they can't alter that point in time or something. Deadpool can quip it that Logan should probably go see a doctor for his pus claws, and maybe put Grandpa in a nursing home. They didn't have to use anything from the movie Logan, but they chose to, and it broke the movie for me. Because outside of the huge timeline breakage and the whole anchor being nonsense, the movie was actually pretty fun. I saw it twice in theaters, and I did have a good time each time I saw it. Ryan and Hugh bounce off each other really well. I loved seeing variants of Wolverine. Again, Gambit was outstanding. I love you. Blade rocked, even though the ice skate line fell flat for me and felt forced.
Some motherfuckers still trying to ice skate uphill.
Check, please.
Elektra ruled. I enjoyed seeing Laura again. Even Pyro. What the hell? Pyro was back and still being an opportunistic asshole. Johnny Storm was fun, though when he fell out of the sky and hit his balls before Looney Tuning into the ground felt a bit much.
Wait till you see the... No, 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 no.
Cassandra Nova was also a really interesting villain, and I never got tired of the finger gimmick. The way she drags Paradox into the sewer tunnel thing reminds me of the old going to the grocery store video, the weird like animation that also feels like the Severance animation. I'll also admit that I really dug seeing Wolverine in the mask and the whole Deadpool Corps fight. That Like a Prayer cover with the choir is still stuck in my head. I'd also be remiss not to mention some spotty CGI. Deadpool's swords clipping through his shoulder, or how weird this shot of Wolverine jumping out of the bus looks, if I can have the footage and not get demonetized. But I also understand that Marvel makes their VFX artists work under awful conditions. It was just so apparent in this movie, likely to avoid leaks. I honestly can't say. It was my least favorite movie this year, and the worst Deadpool movie. But I had fun, and I think that is all the movie sought out to do. They didn't think about how timelines worked or anything like that. They just crammed this bastard full of jokes and jokes and jokes and jokes and fourth wall breaks and references and more references and so much swearing. I thought I was reading one of my edgy stories from when I was 13, and I thought saying fuck a lot gave my story a sense of maturity. So that said, what is my real problem with Deadpool and Wolverine? Where the fuck was Domino? Whenever Domino is not on screen, all other characters should be asking, where is Domino? Where was my queen? She's not here? No Domino? 1 star, no heart. Get out of my office. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching the video.